Well, hey, you can see my face again. I had a shave. I don't look like Grizzly Adams anymore. This spot on my head is still there. That's been there for ages, and I've got one there now. Anyway, that sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? Move or die. Oh, however, it's got a bit of a message behind it, obviously. So this week I'm doing the 5 biggest lessons. Hello, Rick. This week I'm doing the 5 biggest lessons I learned from walking for 30 hours straight on the weekend. And yesterday's one was about keeping calm under pressure. And the solution will be there, you just can't see it yet. And if you keep calm, you will find it. If you don't, if you lose your shit in panic, you make stupid decisions. It's the way it goes. Right? Now today, move or die, right? Like I say, it sounds dramatic. However, this is based on what happened when I finished. Okay, so it was about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'd arranged to meet my mate in the pub at 5 o'clock. So I had an hour and a half and I was knackered. I hadn't slept. I'd been awake since 5:45 on the Saturday morning, and it was now, is that right? Yeah, and it was now 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I'd walked 70 odd miles. So, you know, I was a bit tired. So what I did was I just lay down and went to sleep on the floor because I stank. So I got a pillow off my bed, just lay on the floor and went to sleep. And then when I woke up, my body had kind of seized up. I was shivering as well. I was shivering because I think my central nervous system was just kind of like, you've done me in, what were you doing? But, you know, I got up, moved around a bit, had a shower, got myself dressed, and then I felt fine. I felt alright because I got up and moved around. So I'd been still for an hour and then I got up and moved around. Went to meet my mates in the pub, in the Raven. Of course, they were sitting upstairs, weren't they? Which was great, so I had to walk up the stairs. But there you go. But I got there, everything, you know, I felt fine. And they were like, we can't believe you're still walking. How you look fine. It was like, yeah, I feel fine. Sat down, had a beer. And then I think, well, yeah, no, we didn't have a couple of beers, we just had one and then we moved on. But I've been sitting there for about half an hour and I felt fine. As soon as I stood up, my legs had seized up again. So it was kind of like walking a bit like John Wayne, and then they freed up once I got moving. We went to another place, which was upstairs again. Sat there for a while, had a couple of beers in there with some food, and then stood up, seized up again. You know, and this was a pattern. This was a pattern. After I'd been to bed on Sunday night and slept like a baby, got up on Monday morning to wheel my kettlebells into the park and go and do the session with the guys, I'd seized up again. By Monday night, I felt fine because I was moving around all day Monday. So it's kind of move or die, or you can call it use it or lose it if you want. Tom's on, Tom Jones, not that one. You can call it use it or lose it if you want. And I'm reading a book at the minute which kind of, it's by the guys at Original Strength, and it's all about movement and how the body works in an X and doing rolling patterns and crawling patterns and breathing and all this sort of stuff, which I've learnt before at various different certifications I've been to and various different workshops I've been to as well. Hiya, Tom. And it's all stuff that I've learned, but I've never read this book. Okay, so I've learned it already, and I kind of know the principles behind it, but reading this book is going back over it again, and I'm getting some new insights into it. So that's great. So I'm gonna go to the pictures after this, so I'll be sitting down for a while, but I feel the funny thing is, this move or die thing, today I feel back to 100%. Back to 100%. It's only 3 days since I finished. I feel back to 100%. I did a workout yesterday with a mate and did some bottoms up presses. I've done a workout this morning. I did some squats. I didn't think I'd be able to ever do a squat again on Sunday. I've done some squats today, double bell squats. Tom knows what I've been doing because he's doing the same thing. I've been doing that today, and I did some bench press practice. I posted a video on that on Instagram, and I'm moving well. I've got my mobility is fine. And this is 3 days after I finished. So this is kind of proof that if you do move, it works. Anton, hello, Ant. This proves that if you do move, it works, right? Because I'm not special. I'm just a normal gadget who used to sit down in an office all day. But I've learned how to move properly. I was seized up, and I think I've mentioned it before. I did a 40-mile walk, which was 2 20-milers across 2 days about 10 years ago, and my hips were fucked. I was in so much pain. My knee was sore. I was in so much pain, and I'm not in any pain after the walk of the weekend because I move more. I don't sit down all day. You know, in this book I've been reading, so it got me to a place where I saw. I came up with this analogy. I don't know. It's probably been used before. I don't know, but it just something that the book said. I can't remember how it phrased it, but I just came up with when you're using your laptop, right? You're using your laptop, and it says every now and then it'll say there are some icons on your desktop that you haven't used for the last 6 months, and there's some there. Do you want to get rid of them? Clean it up, and make some space for other stuff, and you can say yes or no. And if you say no, it keeps them there, that's fine. And you still don't use them probably. You say yes, it'll clear them out, clear space for other stuff on your laptop. Your body does this as well, right? Your body does this with movement. So there's certain movement patterns. If you're sitting down all day and you're not walking around, you're not using your butt cheeks to walk, you know, you're not using, your butt cheeks are going to sleep. This is the biggest muscle in your body. Your glutes, they're going to sleep while you're sitting down all day. Your hips will be getting tight. You know, your body will, it won't do what your computer says. It won't say, oh, you're not using this, so do you still want it? What your body will do, and then you click a button to say yes or no, right? What your body will do is just get rid of it. So think of your laptop, if it did it and said, right, any icon on your desktop that you haven't used for 6 months, I'm just going to get rid of it. And then you'll go to it and go, well, where is it? I can't find it. And then you'll have to download it again, or go to your IT department at work or whatever and get them to go and find it. So that's, your body doesn't do that. Your body just says, you're not having it anymore. I'm taking it away from you because you don't need it. You don't use it. So that's what it does. And that's what this book I'm reading about is all about. It resets all of that. You can press reset. So it's like rebooting your laptop, switching it off and switching it back on again, and then everything works again. That's the best way I could. I'd say it's the best way I could describe it. That was kind of what came into my head when I was reading this book. That was what I thought like most people would understand. Because for people who sit down all day at a desk at a computer, same goes for in a car. Same goes for anything, right? And I had this. I didn't move very much as a kid. I didn't play any sports or anything. I didn't move very much. I used to watch a lot of telly and eat a lot of chocolate. And when I was at university, I was in a house there was 8 of us, 8 geezers in a house, right? We were all students, right? So students are lazy, we know this, especially 20 odd years ago, because we didn't have cars and phones and all that sort of stuff, so we just used to sit around doing fuck all. However, my mates used to take the piss out of me and say, you are world class at wasting time. I was world class at it. I was so good at it. It was unbelievable. And to the point where one of them one day said, like, I'm going to go for a run. And a couple of us said, yeah, we'll come with you. And I got to the end of the street and had to go back home. I was fucked because I never moved. I didn't move off the sofa, ever. I just used to lie there on the sofa day after day after day. Go to lectures and stuff, obviously, but day after day after day, I used to lie on the sofa. And that took everything away from me. And then, you know, and then I put weight on when I got a job, when I got a bit older as well. So you get a bit older, your body starts to slow down, doesn't it? And so I put weight on, and that didn't help. And then I started sweating loads, and that didn't help either. So all of this was because I never moved. I just sat around doing that. I'd sit at work all day. I'd go and sit in the pub at night. Or I'd be out with friends or something like that. I'd be off to London to go and see some bro or whatever. So like, there used to be brokers I'd go and see. We'd have a night out in London, and then I'd get back, and then I'd have a crap night's kit and get up and go to work, and I was knackered. So I used to spend a lot of time stationary. And if you do that, your body will just say, right, you're not having that anymore. You don't need it. You don't need it. And then what happens is you get to a certain age, right? So if you get to like your 40s, and then you're like, it's age, right? Why can't you move as much in your 40s as you could when you were a kid? Why can't you? Think about it. Is there a reason? Is there a reason? And if you're still on, tell us why you can't move like you used to when you were a kid. Because I know why. Because when you were a kid, you used to move. So kids can move more because they move. So when you get into your 40s and that, you don't move as much as you did when you were a kid. And then you wonder why you can't move. You wonder why you get sore and tired and tight and all of that. And you should be able to move until you die. You should be able to. And this is massive. This is huge. This is huge. If you've ever seen the film Wall-E, that's kind of where everything's going. It's kind of where everything's going. Everyone is getting outsourcing. Everyone is outsourcing movement, outsourcing it to the point where you don't even have to, you don't even have to leave the house to shop, to go and get food, anything. Hunting and gathering is now done on the internet. So this is why as well I want to get people out. This is why I do BKS in the park. Because I want to get people out. I want to get people outside doing stuff. It doesn't get that cold in this country. Trust me. And I want to get people outside doing stuff. Because if you go to the gym, and this happens to a lot of people, and I haven't got anything against gyms. I just don't particularly like them, like myself. But I haven't got anything against anything people using them as long as they know what they're doing. But if people go to a gym, right? There's still people sitting around there not moving. They'll go to the sauna, or a bit like standing around like on the phone, looking at bits of equipment, like thinking I'm going to use that in a minute. Don't do it, and then an hour's gone, and then they've got to leave. That's why I get people to go outside, because then you can't hide. You have to move. You have to move. And that's another reason. That's another thing that I find tricky to explain to people when they do turn up. So there's a guy started this week. He's had 2 sessions. He started this week. And it's kind of hard to get across what's different about it. Okay? Because people think they're going to turn up and it's just going to be like an exercise session. And then like get you sweaty and then you leave and go, "Way, brilliant. I'm going to lose a ton of weight." And it's hard to get across that it's not that. It's not that. What will happen is you turn up. It's the same online, same with everything. You turn up and then I assess your movement. We have a look at how you move, and then it's like, right, here's what we need to work on specifically. So everyone does stuff together. It's the same movements, but everyone's at a different stage of that movement, like with squats or with presses or with swings or whatever. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but these are all basic human movements that everyone should be able to do. So there's certain people the guy who turned up on Monday, I taught him the swing within the hour. That was great. There's other people who it takes 2 weeks, because they're in a different stage of movement. This guy's quite sporty, he does a lot of stuff, so he moves around. However, every couple of months, he gets injured. Every few years, he gets a bit of sciatica. It's the way it goes. And he's just like, that's just the way it is. And it's like, well, it is the way it is, but we can probably do something about that. But it'll take some time, some movement. So I'm not going to get him to move and do things he can't do, because all he's going to do is get injured. So what I'm going to do is get him to do things he can do, and then stretch that a bit. And then he'll be able to do a bit more. And then he'll be able to do a little bit more. And then he'll be able to do a little bit more. And then he'll look back 6 months' time, which happens all the time as well. I'll say to some of the guys, 6 months ago, do you remember you had that pain in your shoulder? You had that, that sticky hip or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And this is something that would be holding them back for 10 years. Okay, they'll be like, they'll have this sore hip. Oh, it's doing my head in. It plays with your brain, doesn't it? It messes with your head. It gets you tired. You get frustrated because you can't do things. You have to sit down when the kids have run off, and then you're like, "Oh, come back! I can't catch you up." And then it disappears, and you don't even realise. And then you actually look back on it 6 months previously. When you're ahead 6 months, you look back on it and go, "Actually, yeah, that used to really hold me back, and now it doesn't. How great is that?" So imagine what will happen in the next 6 months, and the next 6 months, and the next 6 months, and then if you keep using it, guess what? It'll keep you going forever. So, anyway, I've rambled on enough now. Ross! Ross is on. Hello, Ross. How are you doing, my lad? Ross, the man of holiday. Yes. Now, speaking of moving all the time, every day, I have got a free swing challenge starting on the 1st of September. It runs for 30 days. I will coach you for 30 days. I've got a private Facebook group where everyone is in, waiting and raring to go. They've had the the PDF, which tells you how to do the swing. It's got videos on there, like links to YouTube videos that I've done, which will break the swing down and teach you how to do it. So by the time it comes to the 1st of September, which is a week on Friday, you'll be able to do the swing and you can get started. It's got programs at the bottom which tell you how to do. It's got programs at the bottom which are kind of 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long. However, it could be 30 minutes long. It could be an hour long if you wanted. It's entirely up to you. It depends on how much time you've got. If you're low on time, 10 minutes is all you need. One of the testimonials in there says, who'd have thought in 10 to 15 minutes a day I could get these, I could feel this good. And that was from a guy that was Owen, I think, who said he used to have hip pain. I think, sciatica problems. Sciatica problems. People always say they've got that. It might be, it might not. Who knows? But it made that feel better. So, this stuff does work. It's just the act of getting moving. So I want to help you with that for free. So, click the link below and have a look. Put your email address in, you'll get the PDF. You don't even have to join the Facebook group if you don't want to, you can just go away and use it. However, if you join the Facebook group, you will be kept accountable and we'll all make sure you do it. How great is that? There's already like 40 odd people in there, so, why not come and join them? They're all raring to go. So, there we have it. So tomorrow, number 4 will be coming up. What's that? I've got it all written down here. Oh yeah, your body has a rhythm. It has a natural rhythm, and if you try and fight that, you will lose. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Okay? Download the program.